Good afternoon. Welcome to welcome to ETW.com TV live broadcast. Welcome to yes, Blog Talk Radio. Today, I don't have specifically a news item to pull up and bring to your attention from Drudge or Jones or anywhere else, for that matter. But I do have something to bring to your attention today. Now, if you'll listen to me and hear me out, you won't misunderstand what I'm trying to say, okay? You won't misunderstand it. Now, I was up reading and studying last night, well, I got to thinking about something, and I got to looking for the definition of it. So today I wish to embark on a journey with you, not by myself, but with you, because, you know, well, I'll put it to you like this. Independent or critical thinking is being discouraged at an alarming rate. Especially when critical thoughts pertain to a government or some new technology or whatever. You know, the seems to be that the ones that invented the technology or the ones that rule the government are always right, and any dissent makes you become, well, you're not progressive. That being said, now this, if you take this pistol, for example, just take the pistol, okay? If I take this weapon, and as you can see, clear, good to go, okay? As I'm handling it, firearm safety. If I take this weapon or this gun or this pistol, and I go out and I find me something to practice on in a safe area, and I become good with it, I can take and use this pistol for going out and getting food and putting it on the table. Okay? I can take this pistol and I can use this pistol if the thief be found breaking in and stop him from doing any thieving, raping, or pillaging. But at the same time, if a person wants to, they can take this item right here and they can put this right here in it. They can put around in the chamber, and they can go out and rob a bank and kill a bank teller, or they can go out and hold somebody at gunpoint and rape them or steal their car and carjack them. So what I'm trying to show you and lay a foundation of today before I get to my point of this short 30-minute segment is that there's a lot of things that have been invented that are good. They're absolutely good, and we're thankful for technology. Now, just like this. Kiwi leather lotion. I've got boots I've been wearing since 2001. Okay? And the reason I'm able to wear them is because as they seem to get dirt and stuff like that on them, I'll take and put the lotion on them, rub it in, and it makes the leather on the boots where it's pliable and water resistant and things of that nature. And, you know, hey, not bad to use, you know. Not bad. But, on the other hand, remove loose dirt from article with a soft brush. Shake well before using. Apply a small amount of kiwi leather lotion with a clean, soft cloth. Allow it to dry several minutes. Then buff with a soft brush. Use regularly, the boots will last. Another good item that's been created that in and of itself works good when it's applied right. Can I say it that way? Well, yeah, when the application is put in as the instructions implies, there's not a problem, correct? But if I were to take this and I were to open the lid on it, okay, squeeze lid, and I were to take this and squeeze it down my throat and drink it, chances are I probably ain't going to make it to the hospital. So therefore I know, being an intelligent, critical thinker, that yes, there is beneficial uses for this, but at the same time, as I step away from you for a minute, I'm going to take this. It's going to be on a shelf. Okay, hold on. It is put up on a shelf that I can barely reach by stretching. Therefore, at the same time, my kids will not be able to reach it, little ones, and be able to get it and drink it and die from it. Okay, now let's move on to, maybe let's use another example. I'm not ready for that yet. Okay, let's use this. Please, just bear with me today, okay? Now take this for instance. We've had this camcorder for years. This camcorder is a very useful tool of technology. And if I take this camcorder and I go out and make videos, whether it be shooting or whether it be nature, showing y'all deer, or I'm just sitting in the garage and I decide to make a video, okay, and put it on YouTube. The things I'm going to say to you are not to be a disadvantage to you, but to try to help you based on critical understanding, thinking, knowledge, and truth. But then at the same time, a person could take that video camera, and they do it frequently. People could take the video camera and they could go out and they could be babysitting a child, and they could put that child's naked pictures on the web, and then you got all these pedophiles and perverts looking at it, correct? So am I establishing myself with a foundation here that all of us can understand that there is good in a lot of stuff that's been created. But at the same time, in the midst of all of that, there is something going on called mind control, and there is a universal seduction taking place. Well, what are you talking about, Billy? Well, bear with me for a minute. Because I think it's very important that if we take this few minutes we have here together slowly, and by the way, I'm fixing to put this back in and set it down where it belongs right there. Well, why are you doing that, Endtime? Well, for the simple reason because I don't never know when somebody's going to want to break in and steal something, so therefore it sits right there, okay? And then when I get up, it goes with me. Now, that being said, see, the universal seduction was at one time used by, well, they would drop flyers, you know. Don't you remember for Hiroshima, didn't they drop some flyers and stuff, or wherever they dropped these flyers in Iraq or whatever, and let the people know that, you know, if you're with us, you're okay. If you're not with us, you're screwed. Okay? That being said, then they moved on to television and phones, and those things are good too. I mean, I can take a DVD of The Great Deception or whatever, put it in there and watch it, and I'm good to go. But if I were to go out and frivolously spend my money that I don't have that supports this network to go and get cable or Dish Network or whatever, and I go to watching the what do they call it, HBO or whatever that garbage is, and then what am I doing? I'm taking that tool of technology and I'm using it to literally brainwash myself by watching it. You say, well, Endtime, that's not true. Well, I'll prove a point to you. See, one of the greatest things of mind control is they just make the equipment, they make an offer for the technology, and for you to be able to buy it, for you to be able to sit down in front of it. It's kind of like, you remember when they first came out with the movie Star Wars? And people flocked to the theater to see it because it was something new. But yet it was not reality. But what the people did that went to see it, and listen, this was every person that went to the theater that enjoyed it. They had to voluntarily suspend reality in order to enjoy something that is not real. They go to the movie theater, they enjoy Star Wars, they suspended reality for however how long a movie is, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is. They suspended reality and critical thinking in order that they could, whatever the ticket cost them, 5, 10, 15, I don't know how much movie theaters cost today. But they spent the money, suspended reality and critical thinking for what? For something that is not even real. And then they walk back out of that theater and step back into reality. Well, Billy, what about it? Well, Endtime, what about it? Well, the fact of the business is this. As I watch my time clock continually move, time don't wait on nobody, does it? Well, what about, And let me go ahead and preface this by saying this. I believe that the internet can and has been and will be used as a great creative tool and mechanism to, number one, to preach the gospel, to, number one, to get truth out, to, number three, to invite people to be critical thinkers. But on the other hand, it also can be used to take people on a universal path of seduction. Now, I decided about 3:30 this morning, after I got through studying Solomon and Chronicles and in Kings and all that, I'm thinking, well, I'm going to go to sleep here. And, well, I couldn't go to sleep. And so I get up and I go into the living room and I take out a bunch of dictionaries. And I begin to look up. And I begin to look. And by the way, those that are the big cult, and that's what I'm using right now, is the big cult, okay? The big cult members, whether you want to call them Illuminati, New World Order, your government, whatever you want to call it, okay? They have a plan, and it is universal seduction. They have a plan, it is mind control, and I got to tell you something. Based on the actions or non-actions of people, I'm seeing that a majority of people are under mind control and universal seduction. Well, what brings me to say that? Well, do you remember before the internet came along? And Wirez, you're old enough. Oh, sorry, Wirez. No, I can pick Wirez. He can take it. I'm old enough. I'm 44. Wirez is 28, 29, something like that. No, I ain't going to say how old you are, Wirez. But we're old enough to know that before the internet, it was a much more simpler life for us as individuals. After the internet, we got information overload, but those of us with a critical thinking mind, with understanding, we were able to understand and eat the fish and spit out the bones. We were able to understand that time is so precious, and that time does not wait on anybody, and you can't go back and get it back. Okay? So that being said, I decided to look up, and again, please listen to me. I am not bashing the internet. I'm just giving you something to think of today. Don't take my word for what I'm fixing to tell you. Look it up for yourself, okay? But let's look at the definition of internet for a minute. Please, bear with me. Have you ever thought about looking up what the internet means? Maybe it's just me and I'm crazy. But I looked up internet, several dictionaries. I looked it all the way up from the ancient Hebrew all the way up to the most modern and liberal dictionary you can find. So let's look at it for a minute. Oh, and here's my chicken scratch, okay, that I wrote down. Matter of fact, this was part of the first one. Notice, see the little man there? Yeah. Kids get involved in notes that I scratched down. But that being said, I'm so glad of that. And the reason I brought that up is even when I'm doing what I'm doing and the things I have to do, there still has to be room for family. Yeah. Let's talk about that for a few minutes. Internet. You ready? To place in a grave or tomb or bury. Or it could mean between or among. Enter, okay? Well, we're all grown here, I hope, that are listening. Think about this for a minute. To place in a grave or tomb or bury. Now, what about net? What about net? Now, we got internet. What about net, okay? Anybody that's been around any kind of fishing or anything like that, or any kind of trapping of things, know that net always refers back to trap, snare, or to trick. So here we have, listen to this now. So internet, this is just a definition. It's true. Absolutely, look it up. Internet. To place in a grave or tomb or bury by trapping or snaring or tricking them. What do you mean, end time? I'm going to try to get the World Wide Web and what it means and everything. But wait a minute. To place in a grave or a tomb or bury, in other words, when people are placed in a grave or a tomb, they're already dead, number one. Number two, they begin to rot or decay. There's no life in them. because they have been in the net of a trap or a snare